Hey, what's happening, guys? What's going on YouTube? You guys have tuned into Rules for Rebels, and this is going to be the first video in a new series or a new segment we're going to be doing called, I guess we'll call it 30 Days of 30 Apps. Basically, over the course of the next 30 days, we're going to be kind of looking at and reviewing 30 different Shopify apps. These are all going to be apps that I either currently use on my stores, have personally used on my stores in the past, or at the very least, have actually used on client stores. So these are going to be apps that I actually have real world experience with, that I've actually had a chance to play around and use myself on a regular basis. Really no order to how we're going to be doing them. We're not doing them in order of best to worst or worst to best. And I don't necessarily have any certain apps that I'm trying to look at. I will try to provide you guys with a pretty diverse variety or assortment of apps. We'll do something for, like today we're going to be doing Retention Rocket, which is an SMS marketing app. We'll probably do like a push notification app, like a Push Owl. We'll probably do something like for, something that has a little something to do with SEO. There's a couple apps I've used that compress photos to make your site faster and also automatically add metadata to your photos as well, which also helps for SEO. We're going to, maybe talk about Buildify, which is an app to help you build product pages, landing pages, etc. So I'm going to try to hit a little something from different areas. So we're not going to be covering all of the same type of app, but that's basically what this series is going to be all about. Shopify apps, I think, are one of the best things about Shopify, and they're also one of the worst things about Shopify. One of my beefs with Shopify is that everything requires an app, right? And I've complained about this before. I don't mind paying an additional fee for some premium services or some things that are outside of what you would expect from an e-commerce platform. I do think for being a dedicated e-commerce platform, Shopify kind of falls short in a lot of areas. One of the areas that I talk about a lot is deals, right? Shopify's native tools for allowing you to create deals should be much more robust than it actually is. So that's one of my beefs with Shopify. But at the same time, it is kind of awesome that we have all these a la carte options for apps, and that almost anything you want to get done on Shopify can be done with an app. One thing I'd just like to throw out there too, apps can get kind of expensive, right? It's one thing if you're paying $9.99 for a couple apps. Obviously, some apps are, $29, some apps are $59, some apps cost thousands of dollars per month. But when you start needing an app to do every little thing, it can kind of start to add up quickly. Another thing with apps, when you use an app, you're putting a lot of trust in these app developers. If you have a deal app and it's not giving people deals, you're going to piss people off. Apps can cause you to get negative reviews. It can turn people off from shopping with you. So it's always kind of good to vet apps. It's great when apps have reviews and you can kind of see what other people think. But when you start getting into niche apps, or if you find some new app that just hit the market, a lot of times they don't have reviews. So that's kind of my aim with this 30 days, 30 Shopify apps, segment or series that we're going to be doing. I want to show you guys some apps that I'm using. And I think one of the things that a lot of new e-commerce store owners do, a lot of new drop shippers do, etc., is they just go fucking nuts on the App Store and start downloading everything. And a lot of apps are going to slow down your site. A lot of apps report data back to the app creators. A lot of apps aren't reliable. A lot of apps will conflict with your Shopify theme or other apps. There was a pre-sell app I was using a while back that was causing my Shopify buy buttons to disappear. And on one of my most popular product pages, the buy button disappeared. And it took about a half a day before I was like, why the hell isn't this item selling? And I realized that the buy button was missing. There was nowhere for somebody to click to buy or add this product to the cart. So without further rambling or further ado, let's get into it. Today's app is called Retention Rocket. Oddly enough, this isn't a hugely popular app. Not because it's not a good app. The reason I think this isn't hugely popular is A, it's not cheap. This is $99 a month for the platform fee. And then you're also going to be charged, I don't have it in front of me, but I want to say it's like a penny per text message you send, as far as just plain text messages. And it's about 2 cents per text message that you send with a photo in the text message. What Retention Rocket is, it's an SMS messaging app. Another reason I think this isn't hugely popular is a lot of people are still sleeping on text message marketing, SMS marketing. This is something that I've talked about a lot. It's worked wonders for me. I think people aren't as jaded to text message marketing as they are to, say, email marketing. I also think it's a better way to get a direct action quickly. If you want somebody to take action quickly, most people check their text messages within like 30 to 60 seconds. Some people will go days without checking their emails. So that's what Retention Rocket is. Essentially, if I'm running a sale this weekend, let's say this past weekend, I was running a 20% off site-wide for Memorial Day sale. Well, Retention Rocket allows me to send a text message to my customers. One of the weird things about Retention Rocket, it doesn't integrate. It's actually not on the App Store. So if you want to do something with Retention Rocket, you got to book a demo with them. They'll help you get set up. They have an onboarding specialist. It's not something that's on the App Store that you can just download. At least it's not coming up for me. And I've been using it for probably a year and a half. So I don't recall what it was like when we initially signed up. But it's not something you're going to be able to find on the App Store. And I think that is because it is a higher price point, and it might have something to do with, I know a while back Shopify kicked MailChimp off Shopify Store because of, how they use data and kind of internal fights between them. So it might be something, there's a lot of rules that, a lot of rules and regulations and laws when it comes to text message marketing. So that might have something to do with it. I'm not really sure why. But again, the simplest, most straightforward way of using SMS marketing, and in a second I'm going to take you guys through screenshots and everything. The most simple, straightforward way of doing text message marketing is just simply sending out some sale or call to action. One of the things I like about Retention Rocket, unlike a lot of other tools, a lot of SMS marketing apps are kind of standalone apps, so they're not really tied into your Shopify store, so it's kind of hard to track conversions and track how effective it is. I mean, sure, you can use promo codes and coupon codes and see how many were redeemed. One of the things I like about Retention Rocket that you guys will be seeing in a second here is that it directly reports on sales attributed to your text messages. In terms of some other things that you can do with Retention Rocket, actually, before we get into that, one of the things that's kind of cool about Retention Rocket, I really don't have the time to follow up with people and keep up with this, but there's an option when you send out a text that you can allow people to respond back to it. So if I sent out a text that said 20% off for Memorial Day, my customers could actually text back to me and be like, does this apply to all collections, or does this apply to this, or the 20% off isn't being applied to my cart. People can actually text me back. I can see the text messages coming back into me through the Retention Rocket app, and I can respond back to those customers. You can also use Retention Rocket for abandoned carts. So if somebody gets to the shopping cart, fills out their name, address, phone number, and then leaves, in addition to doing abandoned carts with an email like Shopify does natively, you can also do it with a text message. You can hit people up with a coupon. We saw you didn't buy. Here's 10% off, or here's free shipping. If that changes your mind, come back and buy. You can also use Retention Rocket. There's tons of integrations, but you can also use Retention Rocket to send a text maybe 3 to 4 days after somebody receives their product and say, hey, would you leave us a review on Trustpilot, or would you leave us a review on Stamped? So that's kind of a lot of the things that I kind of use Retention Rocket for. In a sec, let's hop on over to actually look at some screenshots and kind of see the app in action. So when you log into the app on your Shopify account, or you can also log in through the Retention Rocket site. This is kind of what you're looking at here. We have acquisition, which you can either create new campaigns or look at your current list builders, and these are the current list builders that we got going right now. There's a text in number, so text 7085, text the word paddle to get a free paddleboard ebook or whatever else. And then we got sign-up forms on a couple websites. We have engagement. Again, we can look at current campaigns or create a new campaign. We can see all of our customers signed up for our SMS marketing list. We can view analytics. I'm not really sure what Power-Ups is, and then we can go to settings. Oops, wrong way. So then this is under acquisition. We can do an SMS pop-up. So we can have a pop-up on our Shopify store that says, get 10% off for signing up for our SMS list. We have a form builder where if we want to put some type of text sign up on a landing page or even on our checkout page, we can do that. And then we can do opt-ins via SMS. So, text the word paddle to 7252. For engagement, we can set up abandoned cart engagement. We can say we want the text to go out, 10 minutes after somebody abandons a cart, an hour after somebody abandons a cart, 6 hours after somebody abandons a cart. We can do one-time outbound SMS messages, and that would be like the Memorial Day sale, right? 20% off site-wide for Memorial Day. They do let you use, they do let you embed links. They do let you embed coupon codes, and they do let you embed photos as well. Photos basically doubles the cost of sending a text, but it gets attention a lot better and gets a lot better in engagement and conversions in my experience. You can set up a welcome series of text, so when somebody opts into your SMS list, you can give them a coupon or send them some other type of message. You can send thank you messages via text when somebody places an order. And you can also send shipping notices, whether that be here's your tracking number, your item was just delivered, etc. This is actually what it looks like setting up a campaign. We titled the campaign. We can put a date on it. Engagement enabled. That's a tab that we toggle. So if we do want to allow people to text us back, we toggle that on. Use a discount code if we want to include a discount code in a text. We can include a discount code, Memorial 10 for 10% off Memorial Day. Here's where we're actually going to kind of type our message. Here's kind of what it's going to look like displayed on the screen. We can send ourselves a test message to see what it's like what it's going to look like when it shows up on our phone. And if you want to see what it's going to look like on an iPhone and an Android, you can check that as well. Or you could send a test message to your phone and then maybe a friend's phone or employee's phone who has a different phone than yours. And then we can also again insert a URL. We can do personalization. So we can if we put first name within brackets here. Hey, Steve. Hey, Janet, username. And there's all types of like short codes that we can use here to kind of customize messages. It's very easy for people to opt out. And if we wanted to, we could include an image as well. This is just kind of looking at an overall view of analytics. All-time Retention Rocket has brought in $133,000. Size of the SMS list is just over 1,700. Attributions is how many sales can we attribute to using Retention Rocket, just under 1,600. Total text messages sent, 141,000. And then we can kind of dig into specific messages and look at that data as well. One thing that's a little bit confusing about attributions, and I notice this among a lot of apps, whether we're talking something like Klaviyo or MailChimp, really anything that kind of integrates into the Shopify platform is they tend to try to attribute as many sales to themselves as possible, right? Because that's how they justify you keeping it. This app has made me $133,000. It's definitely worth keeping. Well, if somebody got the SMS message and then also got an email from me from Klaviyo or MailChimp or whatever else, essentially both services are going to take credit for that sale. So, I can't really know whether that sale is truly attributed to Retention Rocket or truly attributed to Klaviyo. But at the very least, I can get an idea of how effective this is. Here we can look at a single text message, right? So here was a 15% off site-wide. This went out to the full list of 1,700 people. It got 185 clicks, and it $2,000 of revenue is attributed to it. And I think that's the last screenshot that I have here. But again, this app is called Retention Rocket. Their features thing isn't built out very... Okay, so we have list builder, form builder, we can do abandoned carts, product browser abandonment, outbound notifications of SMS, welcome series, an order thank you, shipping notifications. They also integrate with Slack, Zendesk, Privy, Just Uno, Gorgeous, Smile. So we got reward programs, we got pop-up apps, customer service apps, etc. So I realize this one probably isn't going to appeal to everybody. If you got a drop shipping store, kind of got a startup POD store, I doubt you're going to be spending $99 a month for a platform fee plus sending SMS messages. But if you actually have an established business, or if you actually have a decent sized SMS list built up, Retention Rocket could potentially be a great tool for you. Again, it's about $99 a month plus a penny for plain text and about 2 cents for text with an image. But again, this is the first in the 30 days of 30 app series that we're going to be doing. I'll probably make a playlist for this, so if any of you guys miss any of these episodes, you can check them all out in the playlist. And if you guys have any app suggestions that you want me to check out or that you like, feel free to drop them down below. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep this 30 days of 30 apps relevant to apps that I've personally used. So Whatever you suggest, I'm only going to include it if it's actually something that I've used. But if you guys have any suggestions, I'm always down to check out and experiment and explore new Shopify apps. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button below, and we'll catch you on the next video. Later, guys.